What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Do not adjust whatever device you're watching this on. Just listen this time around. This is going to be a short video. This will be unlisted or deleted in the future. But as my friend has just started talking about something, I thought it was my time to chime up, and his video will be linked down below. Just ignore this video otherwise. If you click onto this, you don't know about VIDMe, just click off. I just want to hit a couple of points here. VIDMe was a good platform. Myself and Steak were incredibly close, probably me more so because I was organizing stuff, with the actual staff behind VIDMe. So I had a lot of insight into some of the stuff going on at VIDMe. For example, I was talking to Duffy, I was talking to Harley, and Quinn, I think, and what was the bloody boss's name? But I was talking to those developers. I did an interview with Duffy. I was planning an interview with these other guys, but something changed. At a certain point in time, VIDMe went from about 2,000 to 3,000 users, mostly creators, to 200,000 maybe. The servers crashed a couple of times during this transition. A bunch of YouTubers came over. I Hate Everything came over. Aussie Man Reviews came over. A lot of YouTubers created channels. People started talking about it. Keemstar was talking about it. Jack's Films joked about it, I think. Like, it was getting traction. So I think that's how this ended up happening. But they got a very high horse. We interviewed them on our podcast, and I loved it, you know. The developers of this website, basically the equivalent of Susan Wojcicki, were talking to us directly on a podcast where we were just asking them whatever questions we wanted. It was good. It was good. We were getting insight into the platform and all this stuff. And then they added monetization. They added sponsorships. They added actual ads to videos. They grew and grew and grew. And all of a sudden, we weren't getting responses from them. We would email them. We would DM them on Discord and on Messenger. And Duffy would not respond to me anymore. These people would not respond to me. They went from being super active and super like, yeah, let's do a podcast, to just like, we're making money now, fuck off, is what it felt like. At that point in time, people may notice or may remember, I actually transitioned Vidiots to YouTube. I chucked the first episode on YouTube. I was going to put the third episode on YouTube, but we shut down the podcast during the Great Soda War. I stopped uploading to VidMe, and I started uploading to YouTube again, and I started uploading to Facebook a little bit as well to compensate for VidMe. But I feel bad because I noticed that something happened. I noticed that it changed. They added monetization, and they started becoming this site that we didn't want them to be, and the developers became closed off, and they weren't talking to us, and instead of talking about it, I just left. You know, I've never really liked drama up until now, but I really regret my decision because a lot of people invested a lot of time into this site, making exclusive content and so much different stuff. And I feel like if I had have just talked about what was happening when it was happening and exposed these developers and the CEO, if there even was a CEO, I think it was like a bloody partnership company, but whatever. I feel like if I had have talked about it, maybe we could have all wisened up and gotten out of there before it got too bad, but I just didn't. And I regret that. You know, we had a platform, you know, me and Steak and Mel, we were pretty decent channels. Our podcast was the second biggest podcast on VidMe in the first episode, and when we had the developers on for the second episode, I don't know if they themselves put it on trending, but it was on trending, and I would argue we were the biggest podcast. There was another podcast that had been going for 50 weeks, and our channel collectively had more views than theirs, so I would argue we were the biggest podcast on the platform, and really we were one of the only podcasts on the platform. But, it was this thing where we had this great platform, and we just gave up on the podcast. I gave up on my channel on VidMe, and I just left it to die, and eventually it did die, as I kind of knew it would. But I really, really regret it. I mean, I've got the emails and the DMs still with Duffy where he didn't respond, and still to this day hasn't. And, Rocky talked about it, so I thought I'd make this and probably delete it eventually. But I just had to get this out there rather than just sitting on it any longer. So check out his video, linked in the description. Make sure you subscribe to him. If you can. He deserves it. And I'll see you guys soon.